Hey guys, it's Friday. You're sitting on the hashtag MagnaOnAir digital network, magnasearchgroup.tv. It's the spotlight. We have a special guest in the studio today, Jack Kosakowski. He's a Anova marketing automation expert, marketing guru, social media king. Jack, welcome to the studio.
Thank you, gentlemen. This is exciting. I've been watching a lot of your shows, and I have to say, probably the best production of a podcast that's live right now. So it's an honor to be here.
Wow, those are big words. Those are big words.
Yeah, we told him to say that. Well,
I wish, you know what? I wish I would have been on, done the video piece because I had a special background and all that. But hey, you know what? I'm blaming it on Skype.
We love it, Jack. We love the feedback.
Yeah, so Jack, let us ask you right off the bat, like, who's Jack? Who's JK? Jack Kosakowski? Who is he?
Oh man, if you want me to simplify this, I'm just a sales guy who uses social media to crush my freaking quota, and I'm super passionate about it.
Awesome. So how did you get into social selling? What, did you go to school for this? Did you have to graduate from university or college? Like, what's your story?
Yeah.
Give us a time frame of like how you got into social media selling.
Okay, that's funny. So I actually have 3 degrees, but they're all in hospitality and restaurant management. So go figure. So I've worked in sales for 12 years. I made a shift and decided I wasn't going to go into hospitality after I spent 8 years getting a degree to do it. I made a shift to go into sales. I've been in a lot of different sales positions. A little over 2 years ago, I came from a manufacturing job, believe it or not, selling automation warehouse equipment. Interesting story, but I won't go there. And then I got the opportunity to work in the SaaS space with, the up-and-coming Acton software. And, I had been using social selling on LinkedIn, right when it kind of came out with the manufacturing, with a bunch of laggards who, was not there. And I was just using it very simply to just find new accounts because you couldn't Google these little distributors. So I found it pretty interesting that I could find a lot of these guys and prospect on the LinkedIn channel that's just coming out. And then when I went over to the SaaS space, I realized, hey man, this is, if I have that much success with all these laggards, what about if I have all these forward-thinking early adopters? I could start using these channels, and Acton, nobody was practicing that at Acton, right? And our solution actually has a social media component. So I never believed in marketing. I always thought marketing was kind of a joke, right? When you're in sales, you're like, these marketers, they don't know what they're doing. They give me crappy leads, all this stuff. And then I decided, hey, you know what? I am starting a marketing software. I don't really know much about marketing. Maybe I'll try this social media thing and do some marketing and try to market myself so that I understand what I'm talking about when I talk to a marketer. And, from that point forward, what I realized was, this isn't marketing. Social media is not for marketing. This is for sales. This is where all my buyers are. I'm having more conversations here than I've ever had on the phone. I'm getting to the decision maker with one tweet rather than 42 phone calls and 6 meetings.
Interesting.
And I, my light bulb went off, and then I started to realize oh hey, I read a post that was social selling, this term, and I go, oh shoot, that's what I'm doing, man. I think I'm doing this social selling thing.
Okay, so you're currently employed at Acton Software. You're an advisor for Sales Hacker. How did you get into these companies?
My director now at Acton, actually, we were really good friends. He had the opportunity at Acton, and he had told me, he was at a really good job. He said, Jack, you got to come over here, man. This company is killing it, and it's just a really good space to be in. And he got me in. Luckily, I got in because of a referral. I probably wouldn't have got that job with no SaaS experience, without him. So, real thankful about that. But that's how I've gotten all my jobs, right?
Yep.
Friend of a friend.
And what about when you're talking social selling, what platforms are you really using these days? What ones have you found to get you the most traction?
I use LinkedIn and Twitter. It's like peanut butter and jelly, baby. Twitter's like my conversation piece, right? I mean, it's a 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week conversation going on there. And LinkedIn, I like to move people from Twitter over to LinkedIn because, Twitter's where the conversation starts, but where the credibility really starts is on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, LinkedIn is just continuously growing.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. I recommend anyone who's not on LinkedIn or not active on LinkedIn to really ramp it up, because it's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's going to be there, and it's going to be very powerful. So when you're starting a conversation, like, what would you say would be the first step? Like, when you're prospecting, I know you talk a lot about that in social selling, but what's the first step in sort of starting a conversation via social selling?
You ever been to a conference where you're kind of like the odd man out? What you kind of like walk up to like a group of people, you listen a little bit, and then you figure out where you can add your value, right? That's the same exact thing you're doing on social media. You're walking into a conversation. It's a digital conversation, not a human conversation, right? And you're just trying to find cues of ways that you can get into this conversation without sounding like an idiot, right? And adding value. I think there's so many easy ways to just get into a conversation. You can't make it rocket science.
Yeah. You just got to get going. You got to do it.
Yeah, you just got to just be natural, right? Everybody loves to talk about themselves. If you ever want to get into a conversation, ask somebody about them.
Yeah,
You'll be
absolutely.
surprised.
Absolutely. So for our community, our audience, the people out there that are working, they could be happily employed or they're unsatisfied in their current position. What are 3 things that these people need to be doing, job seekers need to be doing on social media right now? Yeah,
like you talk a lot about social selling, but what about the social job hunt? What do you think people should be doing to get that dream job?
That is social selling, right? You want to go get a job, sell yourself so that you get the dang job, right?
Yeah.
The first thing is you got to be visible, right? I heard a very interesting thing the other day, and I can't remember who wrote it, but that content is your new resume.
Yeah, like content on. Wait. What do you mean?
Sorry, I missed that.
Explain that.
So content saying, hey, you've got your LinkedIn profile, you've written content. So people aren't going to go look at what you've done or where you've been, but they'll go to your LinkedIn publish and read about your expertise, right?
Yeah.
Like your value could be portrayed out through content, which I thought was a very interesting scenario. But that's a great way to get found. Start writing content, right?
So going back out there and talking about content, how often should the job seeker be looking to put content out on the web?
Yeah, is there too much content? Or?
Yeah, is there too much content? Can it be overwhelming?
I don't think you want to go crazy. I mean, the problem with content is if you're going to write something or you have value in something and you want to, articulate that on digital paper, right, is you've got to make sure that it's all quality. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong is, you cannot just write to write content, right?
Yeah.
You really got to have a thought-out plan of what your objective is, who your audience is. If it's employers, right? Maybe you want to write about, the job market, right? You want to get HR's attention, write a really good article about your experience or your story with the job market right now. You'd be surprised. I mean, there's different ways you can go about it, but you've got to be very strategic. And if you're going to write content, make sure it's always quality and you've got an objective and a certain audience you're trying to achieve with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so when you're talking about selling yourself socially, when you're talking about how people are engaging in conversations, like if someone's not on social media right now, how do you get started? Like I know there's some people that where do you think the future is going to go? Is it only going to get more and more social, or where do you think it's going to go?
Yeah, get on social media right now. There's a lot of articles out there. Build out the basics of your LinkedIn profile, the basics of your Twitter. Make it look professional, and baby steps. I've written an article about this. Like, social media is not something you're going to jump into this big, giant, billion people network and get going, and get going hot and heavy. Just start baby steps. You've got to be visible, right? The first piece. If nobody can find you, you'll never get a job, right?
Yeah.
You've got to start getting in the conversation, because if nobody, even if you're visible, but you're not having any conversation, you're not getting any energy. So the next piece is visibility, conversation, and then the third piece is, be aggressive, right? If I want, here's the thing, there's a lot of employers that don't hire for jobs because they don't think they can find they're saying that they can't find people that are, I'm trying to think of the word, that are compatible or, that have enough education. There's all kinds of different reasons. Well, if you want to get a job and you feel that you're qualified, go find the people that you need to talk to. Become an advocate for them on social media. They, share some of their stuff, like some of their stuff. And then, go into online conversations to try to take it offline to tell them, hey, I am the one for this job. I mean, be aggressive today. There are jobs I don't find that, I won't fall for that excuse anymore. It's just the jobs that are good are going to go to the people that are aggressive and go after them. And social is a very good way to get there and to get there effectively.
Yeah.
And what about, more on the personal side, like any books? Are there any books, podcasts that you're following or reading, that you'd like to recommend to anyone? Anything that's really changed the way that you view your outlook on life? Or
Mike Weinberg just came out. If you're in sales, Mike Weinberg just came out with a killer book, man, about sales leadership and sales training. And then one that I'll plug as well is Jeb Blunt just came out with one called Fanatical Prospecting, which can apply to HR and sales, either way. But really, that's just saying, hey, pick up the dang phone if you want to get something done, or, and effectively get to a phone conversation. Because, at the end of the day, social selling is great, but if I'm not on the phone, nothing's getting closed. Nothing's getting done.
So that was going to lead me to my next question, Jack. Are you still picking up the phone, making those hard, banged out cold calls? Or are you just relying on social media right now? Are you just tweeting and connecting and liking people's stuff and then taking the conversation offline? Or are you still picking up the phone, banging the phone and making those hard cold calls?
This is going to sound, I really don't ever cold call. I had one quarter I had the least amount of dials and the most amount of revenue in the company. No, I'm not. I don't personally cold call because I've built an inbound funnel from social media that kind of just feeds me.
Yeah.
But I did, right? For many years, I cold called to get to the point in my career where I didn't have to. But social media, it takes time. But if you do social selling right, you'll get to a point where you really don't have to cold call. But if you're new in sales, first 5 years, first 8 years in sales, you better dang well pick up the dang phone and start cold calling. You don't have a choice. I've been in sales 12 years, and it's, I've worked out really hard and dialed a lot of numbers and been cussed out a lot of times to get to the point to where I am to not have to, right?
Yeah. And what about where can people find you? Where can people find out your blog posts? Where are some of the avenues that people can reach you at?
So I'm super active on LinkedIn. You'll see me all over LinkedIn. I've got a ton of LinkedIn posts. I've got my own website, jackkosakowski.com, and I'm super active on Twitter. I started Twitter a year ago from yesterday, and I'm already at I think 22,000 followers.
Oh wow, that's pretty impressive, and that's engaging in constant conversation. So how would you? I guess one final piece of advice is how would you advise someone on getting that following and getting those communications going? Is it just constant, just always being in the mix, or?
Yeah, just listening. A big thing for me is I've got a lot of heavy hitting thought leaders in my network, and the reason I have them in there is because I've spent the time to build relationships with these guys, right? Or these ladies, guys. So influencers in your space can do wonders for you. Not only from a visibility standpoint, but I've built a lot of good friendships. I've gotten so many referrals with these from my network, right? These are the people that have already built the network of buyers that I need. Instead of having to go to the buyer, I go to the influencer and he gives me 6 buyers, right? The old adage. So there's a variety of ways you can do it, but I always tell people just get on there and put the time into it, make a commitment. I always say that when you start off, make a KPI to have 5 offline conversations, whether that's you're in sales or you're looking to get a job. Make it a goal. I'm going to go on social media. I'm going to find the people that I really want to get in contact with. I'm going to become an advocate for them before I ask them for anything, so I earn the right their time or their business. And then move 5 conversations offline a week. If you did that for with that 20 conversations a month and 20 times 12 a year, imagine how many more opportunities you have, whether it's a job or sales. I mean, we're not making rockets here, right? We're just connecting, and we're using the only channel in the world that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week of people talking about what's important to them. And we can leverage that information and that personalized data to have effective conversations.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you one more question, Jack, before we end the show. Who are your social media idols? Who do you look up to? Who's on social media right now hitting it out the park that you'll just like, man, like, you need to be following this guy or this girl or this company?
Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of Jerry Moran. So that's GERRYMORAN. He's a marketer, but he's really a sales guy at heart. Mm-hmm. He's got some awesome content. And then I would say, Seth Godin. I'm always like this, right? Like I like to think 4 years ahead of like where we are now.
Yeah.
I think social selling is super early. I think we're 2 years out from true adoption. When I was at LinkedIn Connect, Sales Connect, in Vegas, and listening to Microsoft and some of these early adopters, and I can tell you that I had to think backwards, right? And that's at one of the top conferences in the world for social selling, or one of the only ones. So we're very early, and I think that my idols or the influencers or the people that I really think are making waves are like guys like Seth Godin that are thinking ahead, because that's where I want to be, right? I like the competitive advantage. I think that's what social selling is right now. People don't get it yet, so if you are the one that gets it, your revenue will definitely get it, trust me.
Yeah.
You heard it from the guy himself. Thank you so much, Jack Kosakowski, for sitting in the studio with us today on the hashtag MagnaOnAir Digital Network. You heard it from the man. He's a marketing automation guy, social selling expert. He's all over the web. Sasanova. Thank you so much to our community, our audience, for tuning in. Check us out on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio. Check out our Instagram page. We're everywhere. We're going viral. We're bringing you interviews each and every week. And Jack, absolute pleasure having you here, and we'll see you next week.